Hey guys, Tag him here. Um, I'm sorry for the tears. Like I said, every time I tell this story, um, it really just makes me feel like I'm reliving it all over again. But this is one of the reasons why I'm doing this. To help me, to help others. I know that there are those of you out there who have had to deal with similar tragedies, with insurance companies and with doctors. The world can be kind of a scary, mean place sometimes. There are a lot of amazing and beautiful and wonderful things about it too. There are. Um, Last video, I left off telling you guys that instead of sending me to a psychological doctor, they sent me to a spinal surgeon. And this spinal surgeon, he didn't care about me. Um, he spent little to no time with me, answered no questions, and ended up just following the first doctor's diagnosis of um, me having a psychological disorder uh, called a convergence disorder. And so, like I said, this is 5 years in the making. Um, you know, when the second doctor confirmed the first doctor's diagnosis, um, I didn't quite know what to think. You know, I had been through, you know, pain does something to a person. It does something to your mind. It really does. Um, Especially chronic pain that just never goes away. Like you saw a documentary. You know, that's one of the things you guys might actually hear me say quite a lot. Just because I am down a lot. I'm still down in bed quite often. 18 to 20 hours a day I'm down. So I watch a lot of documentaries. I try to keep my mind active and going, and so you'll hear me say that a lot. I watch documentaries. But one of the documentaries that I watched, they compared chronic pain to the equivalent of, when your body's in pain, it sends this message, if, for an example, mine is my back, and it's sending the signal to my brain that there's something wrong, there's something wrong, there's something wrong, there's something wrong. And they say what chronic pain basically is basically the fire alarm has been set off, and it just never ever gets turned off. Or after you kind of dealt with the specific area, trying to maybe give the area some medicine or something, that alarm just keeps going off and off and off. And that's what it's like. It's like the pain never stops. That fire alarm never gets turned off. That pain is always there. It's always going, day or night. you know. So, as far as the doctors go, I was willing to do pretty much anything. I was just anxious to walk again. I was anxious to be out of pain. Um, I have an uncle who is a radiologist, a technician, and whenever we broke a bone growing up, we would go trick or treating, and he would X-ray our candy, or uh, if ever we needed something X-rayed, you know, we were always able to go to him, or, not that he was an official doctor, but being family, he could kind of look at whatever we had done and, give us kind of an evaluation of what he thought. Um, they were here in town when I was injured, and he saw the first MRI, but then they moved away, and my grandma ended up dying. This I was going through a lot. We were all going through a lot, but they were gone when I had the CT myelogram, or it's something that I totally would have had him look at. I don't even know why it didn't even occur to me, but what ended up happening was over the next 9 months after I saw this spinal surgeon, who agreed with the doctor before his diagnosis of conversion disorder. They sent me I saw a total of 6 different doctors in a period of 9 months. 9 months, and I saw 6 different doctors. And like I said, like sheep jumping off a cliff, they all said conversion disorder, conversion disorder, conversion disorder. But they never sent me to a psychiatrist to diagnose it. They never sent me to a psychologist. They never gave me a pill or had me talk to anybody. And actually, 90% of the time, they didn't even look at the records that I had brought in, or the films, or anything, which was really frustrating. And so we were getting ready to go to this one doctor who we had heard was kind of notorious for being awful and terrible. And my husband and I and my whole family, we sat down and we made a list of questions. It was like, well, if this is conversion disorder, what about this? What about the records from my pain management doctor who said, oh, well, maybe some of your pain could be, coming from this, and what about this, and what about this, and what about this? We had a whole list of questions that we were planning on asking this doctor. And it was kind of funny because my husband and I were so determined to get some answers, but so frustrated, so frustrated. And so we went to this doctor, and we went into his office, and we sat down. And it was kind of funny. The doctor came in, and as soon as the doctor came in, I was laying on the table, and the doctor came in and kind of sat on his little rolly chair across from me. And my husband, he took his chair and he moved in front of the door and he sat in front of the door. And it was basically, you're not leaving, we're not leaving until we get our questions answered. End of story. And no, really, that's not the end of the story. But we ended up talking to this doctor for 2 hours. Two 2 hours, 2 hours. And we just asked question after question after question after question, and we would not let him get off easy with, well, this. And it's like, well, explain that to us. Explain that to us. Explain to us how that works. Why is that? And if I didn't understand, I made him explain it to me in a different way that I could understand. Explain, I'm sorry, I still don't understand. You're going to have to break it down for me. Break it down for me because I do not understand. And at the end of this 2 hours, for the first time, we had a doctor who said, you know what? Maybe, maybe it's not all this. Maybe there's something else going on. And it's like, oh my gosh, did we just have a breakthrough? Did we actually just have somebody say, maybe there's something else going on? And so it was really, really amazing. He immediately ordered some physical therapy for me, some pool therapy, which was seriously one of the best things that could have ever happened to me. Um, so they ordered pool physical therapy for me. And it was really interesting. He put me on this medication, and I will forever be grateful that he did. Um, and it's actually specifically for neurological conditions and neurological disorders. And I remember taking this pill. I didn't know that that's what it was for. He just said, oh, maybe this will help take some of your pain away. And so I remember the first day I took it, um, it's Lyrica. And they give it to people who've got fibromyalgia. And fibromyalgia is basically when the nerves are just freaking out. And the Lyrica calms the nerves that had been, that are freaking out. It calms them down. And so I remember the first day I took this first pill, it it worked immediately. It worked immediately. It took a large portion of my pain and actually calmed it down. Calmed it down. Now, it also put me to sleep. But it was two separate things. It did put me to sleep, but it actually also calmed uh, calmed that pain down, and it was amazing. Um, until my body got used to it. It took about a month until my body was like, okay, you don't have to absolutely crash um, when I would take it. But I would literally, I'd sleep for 12 hours a day, easy. I'd sleep for 12 hours a day. This medicine, it knocked me on my butt, but it took a lot of the pain away. And and then he sent me to this pool physical therapy, and they'd have to put me in with a lift because I couldn't walk down the stairs. And when I got in the pool, they actually had to have I had a rail on one side, and then I had somebody standing on the opposite side of me. I actually, when I first got in the, I actually had to have one person on each side of me. I had to have a pool floaty vest around my waist, and I had to have one person on each side of me because I couldn't hold myself up, because I couldn't keep myself from kind of flipping back or flipping forward because my legs weren't there, you know? So I had to have somebody. And then when I got into the pool, they actually had to, kick my legs forward, kick my legs, you know, to get them going on their own. And it was, honestly, it was the best thing for me, best thing that could have ever happened. But this doctor was still a workman's comp doctor, and this doctor still was, you know, mm, you know, I'm still thinking that you might have a convergence disorder, but, we'll do this, in addition to, and this is when we found out that the treatment for a convergence disorder is the exact same as somebody who doesn't have convergence disorder, is physical therapy, and, so that's where we're gonna end on this one. Time flies so freaking fast. Oh my gosh, I just can't believe it. So I hope I haven't bored you guys too much, and I hope someday somebody will be able to watch these and get something beneficial out of them. But if not, they've been good for me. They've been really good for me.